Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well wherever you are in the world. So it's near the end of 2020 and I thought I'll show you around the house, show you some of the new house plants that I bought recently and some of the old ones that I have around the house. So this is one of the most recent buy that I bought recently on one of my trips in December. It was actually my birthday trip. So this is a Peperomia Napoli Nights, I think. Yeah, Napoli Nights. And I love, like, look at that. Isn't that attractive? So there's something about the blue-green color of plants that it's just so attractive to me, and especially with the silvery specks throughout the leaf. Isn't that pretty? And even the lighter green one, which is like the new growth, that's so pretty too. So since I've taken it home, I've had lots of new growth on these peperomia plants, and you might see that there's going to be a number of peperomia that I bought because I've had really good success with these in my previous home. So I thought I would try to buy plants that I know for sure that I can take care of and that works with the lighting situation that I have around the house. So that's one of the reasons why I kind of went back and bought stuff that I know I will be able to take care of them properly and not have them die. So pretty. Now the other one that I bought, that's another peperomia that you've probably seen in one of the previous video, and I also love this one. And this one, the leaves got that sort of intense deep green color, but the glossiness, you see that? It doesn't have the silver speckles, but sorry about the dust, but it does have a little bit of a sparkle to it, right? And the thick glossy leaf, which is so attractive to me. And also look at the under color of the color, the reddish intense red tone. I love it. So I can imagine put this higher up on a shelf somewhere, and then every time I look up I will see that. Oh, so pretty. I love it. So this one is a Peperomia Rosso, $7.99. Again, beautiful plant. This one here is a snake plant, and this I've had for many years now. This was actually created from a couple cuttings that I made maybe 3-4 years ago. So that's what that looks like. And then this one is a spider plant that I've had for, I don't know, since I moved in here. And when I moved in here, we moved in sort of at the end of January, early February, and it was like super cold outside. It was snow was 3 feet tall outside, and we couldn't take the mother plant. So we ended up taking a couple of the cuttings that I had sort of like put in water and then try to root. And then since then it has grown so much. Like from here to here, it must be about 14 to 16 inches wide. So, and since then I've also taken a lot of these little pups, rooted them, and I have them planted throughout the house as well, because this is one of the best plants that can clean the air for you. And because our winter it's so cold that we keep our windows closed all the time, it's good to have many indoor plants to help clean the air for you. And then below here, I hope the lighting is good, but I hope you can see it. You've probably seen this. This is a Dracaena gold dust. I've had this for about maybe couple months now. I don't remember when I bought it, but I bought it probably in October or so. It was a tiny little plant at Home Depot. I think my husband bought it for me. And I love this because, again, that gold sort of dust, the variegation, the white contrast with the green, I think it is just so attractive. And I can't wait to plant these in a bigger planter for me to enjoy. So lovely. And I've had this before in our previous home, and it grew to about, again, like 2-3 feet tall, and I love the variegation. Now I'm a little bit worried about this plant here because in our previous home, the back of the house was south facing, so I had a lot of bright sun, and it survived and it did so well. So I'm hoping keeping it at near the front door right now, because that's the south facing side of our house. But the problem is our porch is like so shaded in that we don't get a lot of sun, so I hope it can do well here. But anyway, fingers crossed. And I'll have a lot of Anthurium here. So this is a white Anthurium. Again, do you see how, because of our dry indoor condition, that look at the leaf, it's almost burnt out. So I need to constantly spray this to keep it well sort of maintained. But anyway, it's not so bad. But you can see there's lots of new growth on here. But you can see it doesn't get enough sunlight, so the white sort of blooms on here aren't as large as they should be. But anyway, I don't mind. But I love the glossiness of the leaves. And then I also have another Anthurium here. It's got like that coral pink, which I love. Do you see that? And again, I love the glossy leaves. And again, they're a little dry out here because of our low humidity inside the house. And it's also, I've got like a heat underneath this table. Here, I'll show you. You see that? Right there. That's where the vent is, where the warm air. So it's not doing this plant a whole lot of favor, but I don't have a lot of room to put it anywhere else. So I hope it will still be here and they still perform well for me. But I love the coral pink. Lovely, lovely. The next, sorry, let me just stop here for a sec. Okay, the next plant that I have here is another Anthurium. It's got that sort of light, sort of baby pink. And again, this is another lovely plant as well. And this I need to divide so very, very soon. I've had it in this pot for a while now. And I think it has outgrown its pot. So that needs to be divided soon, which I will do ASAP and perhaps give them away to a friend of mine who's probably going to appreciate having a few Anthurium in the house. So anyway, another lovely, lovely plant. Just going to switch over here, and then this is just a regular orchid, and I've had this for about like 5 years. This was one of the plants that my friend gave me when we first moved in this house. So that's that. And then right, come over here, I don't know if you remember, but in one of the previous video I had the aloe vera a friend of mine gave me, and I rooted in water. And so I just recently removed the biggest pup and planted in its own pot. So that's where it's staying here. I've had this Peperomia for a long time now, and so usually in the summertime I take this outside and I leave it in my backyard, the steps from our kitchen. So it looks really gorgeous there. This one here is I think it's a blue star fern. Again, this is one of the fern that I know will do well in our dry climate. Unlike some of the other fern that I have, they don't do well, but this one tend to do okay in our house. So I'm hoping that it will be okay. Now this was probably divided from a larger, so I have a couple more of these throughout the house, but this is one of the baby ones that I just recently divided. But I love, again, that blue tone green. It's just so soothing and so attractive to me. I love it. This one is a Shangri-La, I think, philodendron. And again, I've had really good success with philodendrons, so I have a lot of these throughout the house as well. So this was supposed to be, I think, in a 4-inch pot that I bought it a number of months ago. I don't remember now. But I have recently moved it to a bigger pot, and it is doing well. It's putting out a lot of new growth. You can see these are the new growth. It's got the lighter green to it, and this is the older growth on here. And you can see that it's not getting as much sunlight. So the leaves are a little bit thinner than usual, but that's okay. I think it's doing well. So as long as there's lots of new growth, you can see there's another new growth here. See that? That means it's liking the spot. So I can't wait till it grow to its full size. Now this I just bought recently. This is a philodendron again, lots and lots of these philodendrons throughout the house. Now this one, Home Depot, it's a philodendron, and I bought it at Home Depot. I bought it for, I think, $6.99, half price. And the reason was we were going into lockdown, full lockdown. And so Home Depot had a big clearance, everything 50% off. And so I accidentally came there one day and saw the plants on sale. So I bought one of these. I couldn't find any more, because I guess it had been going on for a while and I didn't know about it. And by the time I got there, it was too late. Now this one is a ZZ plant. Now this was created from some cuttings that I created about a year ago. So it took a year. Actually, it took like 3 or 4 months for the cuttings to take root. I had rooted in water, and then I planted them. I have another pot somewhere else. I think I rooted a total of 10 cuttings, and I got 2 pots out of these. I planted 5 cuttings in this one pot. So I've got another one in my bedroom, but I love the ZZ plant. Again, one of those, plants that it's just so reliable. So here's another recent buy that I bought. This is a Pearls NJ Pothos. Again, Can you see why I love it? Because it's got that blue-green tone to it, right? Love it. And then plus the white variegation, it's just so attractive. It's a beautiful combination of color. White against the blue-green. Oh, so lovely. And this also, for some reason, does not require a lot of sun, because in my experience, anything with a lot of white variegation requires more sun than usual. So I've had experience with the golden pothos and the marble, but I've never had a pearls and jade before. So I am really, really looking forward to seeing this grow and thrive in our house. Another one that I bought at Home Depot recently. This is another Anthurium, but look at the blooms with the variegation, the white and that deep pink. So attractive to me. And surprisingly, it's doing really well in this spot. So can't wait to see it grows. So here's that white Christmas cacti or Thanksgiving cacti or holiday cacti, and there's different names that people call it around the world. But in our region, everybody here calls it Christmas cacti. And I know it is not Christmas cacti because it's got that pointy, and you can tell by it's got the pointy leaves. Like, see that? How pointy it is? Whereas the Christmas cactus or cacti has a sort of more scallop, not the pointy ends like that. So that's how you can tell the different types. But again, like I said, everybody here calls it Christmas cacti or cactus. So that's what I'm calling it. And this one, look at this. It is like the end of December and it's looking still gorgeous. It's still putting up new blooms, and it has blooming nonstop since November. So it just amazes me. And here's the other one. It's still blooming, and you can still see there's tons of growth. See that? Lots of new blooms on it as well. And here's one that I rooted in one of the previous videos. And this is a golden pothos that I'm rooting. I've got like a few air plants here that I just have in the cups. I'm waiting for to buy a sort of a container for that soon. And then I've got like, this is a Pilea Peperomia. So a friend of mine gave me 2 pups, and I've had it in a little container for months now. And just recently I decided to divide them and plant one in each little container. So this is a smaller one. I have a bigger one upstairs. Here's another air plant that I have in here. Oh, I don't know. These air plants have been here for years now. This is probably like year number, I don't know, 4 or 5 that I've had it. So anyway, something about this Christmas or Thanksgiving or holiday cactus that's really performing really well for me. And like I said, it's blooming nonstop since November. So for some reason, this location is perfect for it. So here is I think a tricolor fern. Now I'm gonna say that I love the fern, except it is not doing well in our house. And like I said, our house is just way too dry for it. I tried misting it, but it is not working. It's not performing very well. So I don't know. I'll try to save it as best as I can, but you can tell like the leaves are just becoming really dry and crunchy. So anyway, I hope it will survive, but I doubt it, because our worst months is probably January and February, and that's when we have more like drier condition because of the heating system that's going to be full blast on all the time. So anyway, I'll try to save it. And here's another new buy that I bought recently. This is another Peperomia. Again, love Peperomia. It's got that white green, that blue green variegation again that I love, and then the variegation, that yellowish variegation, love it. I think it's just called Peperomia, the variegated Peperomia. I forget how much this is, but I think this is like a $3.98 or $4. This is a marble queen pothos, and I've had this for, I don't know, since I forget, but for a while now. And they were from cuttings that I created. So I think this is about, I would say 4 or 5 months old now. So it's growing really nice. Here's a new recent buy. This is a Hoya. And look, since I took it home, since my birthday, I bought it. That was the day when I bought it. This is a Hoya Crimson Princess. It's a Hoya Canosa, $14.99. And look at that lovely variegation. And I love the new pink new growth. And all of that is new. So all the pink that you see is all new growth that it has put on since I took it home from the nursery. So loving it. And it's loving this location too. So this is a new plant for me. I've never had a Hoya before, so I can't wait to see how they perform in our house. This is another another new plant that I bought on that trip, on my birthday trip in December. Now this is a calathea vitali or vitalta. How do you say it? Vitata? So the calathea vita 11.9. So I chose a smaller one because I think the bigger one was double the price. So I chose the smaller one. And again, these grow so fast. Look, I can literally divide this and make 2 plants out of it. And then in about 6 months or so, they will be this size. So there's no point buying a bigger plant. And again, because of our dry conditions, you can see the tips, right? The dry tips at the ends. So I don't have a lot of success with calatheas and maranta, but I love the variegation. That's why I had to buy it. But I'm hoping that I will take better care of it and have it survive better in my home this time around, because the last time I bought it, it didn't survive. So anyhow, I can't wait to see what it's gonna look like and how I'm gonna keep it alive. This is a maranta or prayer plant, and I love this because of the underside and the red tone on the leaves and the variegation on here. It's just so attractive to me. And again, I don't have a lot of success with this, so fingers crossed that I can keep this one alive, because like I said, it likes a high humid environment because of that papery texture of the leaves. So if you have a drier sort of environment inside your home, calathea and maranta, like the vitata and this would not do well in your home unless you are constantly giving it more moisture through applying it through the humidifier. But anyway, I'm hoping that I could keep better eye on it and keep it alive. This is also another recent buy. Now I wanted to get actually I'll show you the name first before I tell you. So this is the ficus or ficus, I don't know how to say it, but I think it's ficus. Altissima. It's a yellow gem for $19.99. Look, for this little, tiny little thing, so expensive. Anyway, I wanted the one with the sort of the pink white. I think it's called Taniki. But that one, I've had experience with it before, and it tend to require a bit more light. And because you can see, this is like my backyard. This is a north-facing window, and we don't have a lot of light. So I was hoping that this would do better here because it's got less lighter variegation. So usually when it comes to plants, the less variegation it has, the better it can survive in low light. Here's another marble queen pothos that I've rooted as well. And again, as around the same time. So you can see the other one's much bigger. This one's a lot smaller. But look at the beautiful variegation. Again, these require a bit more light than the golden pothos. So anyway, this is, I think it's a Syngonium holly. There was no tag on it, and I thought it was a white butterfly, but I think it's supposed to be holly, because I think the white butterfly doesn't have this sort of this much white to it. The white butterfly tend to look a little bit more like this one, and that's why I thought it was a white butterfly. But I think looking at this leaf now, I think it looks more like a holly to me. Again, I have had this before in my previous home, so I know it's supposed to be a holly because of that. But again, it does require more light than the green Syngonium. So I'm hoping it would be okay in the spot, but if it doesn't, I'll try to move it to another location. Here's another new plant that I bought. Again, this is a calathea, and again, I love it because of this. Look at the underside of the leaf. Love that. It's like that Peperomia rustle that I have at the front, right? And this is, I think, what is it called again? Snake plant? Sorry. It's a rattlesnake lancifolia. And I love this. Again, since I took it home, it has grown so much. So I was thinking of dividing this and creating 2 plants out of it, because I keep some of these in the bedroom and I like them a little bit smaller. So I think I'll do that later. And then here is another new buy that I recently repotted into a bigger pot. All of the lighter green that you see here, these are new growth. And then this one here, that's the old growth. And again, can you tell why I love this? It's got that sort of silvery green look. And then look at that. Can you see? Sorry. Can you see the silver specks on that? Oh, I love this plant. And this is my first time planting this. So this is a silver satin exotica. So Pothos. So love this plant. Can't wait to create more of them soon. This one is I think the crispy wavy Japanese fern. So this one I love. This is so easy to care for. It needs a little bit of light. It doesn't need a lot of humidity. So if you're looking for a fern that is good at cleaning air and it's easy to take care of, this is the one for you. And I bought this 4 months ago and it was in a tiny little 2-inch pot. And since then I've had to move it to a bigger pot. I'm just going to take it over here so you can see what it looks like here. I'm just going to put it down here. Look, the kids have been... They got this for Christmas and they have been going at the Pothos. So they haven't finished yet, so they'll continue tomorrow. So this one, I have moved it recently to like, this is I say 4-inch pots. So like in a few months, it had grown out of the 2-inch size pot and into the 4-inch pot. So I love this. And this is like so good at air cleaning. And it's just so lovely. I'm going to put it back in its pot. Love it. So easy to maintain. This one you've seen. So this is another of the Hawaiian spider plant that I have at the front. So this one, I think it's like maybe 2 years old. Love it. And again, the green variegation. This is the green variety without the variegation, means that it can survive and grow well in very low light conditions. So I have this in a very shady spot in the basement without any sunlight, and it's thriving nicely. This is a ZZ plant that I've had since moving into this house. Now the original mother plant, I gave it away. So I took, I think 3 or 4 cuttings. So if you recall the one that I showed you earlier, it was that size 5 years ago. And since then it has grown so much, put out so much new growth. You can see the lighter green, that's the new growth. And I love this because, like I said, it survives so well, even with very little natural light. So I love it. Here's another one that I've got. I have many of these. So this is, I think this is a lentifolia. No, I forgot the name now. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen for you. But this one again came from... I think 4 or 5 cuttings that I created, and it has grown so much in the last 5 years. And I have also divided and made so many cuttings of them. So I think I have like 4 or 5 of these throughout the house. So it's just such a beautiful plant, and it's so easy to propagate and create and make more new plants out of. And like I said, I have them like in the basement in situations where there's very little natural sunlight, and it's loving it in any spot that I have it. So really loving it. Here is an Aglaonoma Maria, I think that's the variety. And again, this is the new growth you can see. But if you look at the old growth, you can see that sort of deep green. It's got a hint of blue to it, which I love. And this is a very common Aglaonoma that you can find in the supermarket. So it was a much smaller plant when I bought it 5-6 months ago, but since then it has grown so much. And again, it's not getting a lot of light. It's like away from the window with just a little bit of light, and it's loving its spot. I probably soon have to replant it in a bigger pot, but it's still doing well in this spot. And so it's gonna leave it the way it is until, I can get a new plant for it. And then here is a golden Pothos that I have recently rooted and planted again. And the reason why I love this is because of the variegation. Look at that. Usually golden Pothos don't have a lot of variegation like this, but this particular one that I've got rooted, it's putting out so much of this new sort of more whitish yellow variegation, which I love so much. another Peperomia plant that I recently bought for my daughter, and I bought her a nice cute pink pot to go with it. This is supposed to be a genie, I think, with a little pink sort of variegation around the rim of the edges, but I'm not sure if it's on label, but I think that's what it says. But there are some of the newer growth without the pink variegation. Now I'm not sure if it's labeled wrong or not, but anyway, who knows. And here's another Anthurium that I recently bought as well, and you can see by the lovely pink white variegation. Same one I have downstairs. So pretty. So here's another snake plant that I've got. It's like 4 feet tall right now, and it's on a stand that makes it even taller. So this is a south-facing window, and because of that, there's just a lot of sun. So I usually have the curtains pulled down. I mean, the blinds pulled all the way down, and then I have lots of this moss over it like this, just to prevent water evaporation. So that's the reason why. And there's lots of new growth on here. You can see this. And this was actually created from a few cuttings that I made from the plants that you saw earlier. And then here, more of the green and gold snake plant that I have downstairs. Again, I have many of these throughout the house, so you're going to see there's tons of them everywhere. Again, they are so easy to propagate, and that's why I have so many of them throughout the house. And they're so good at air cleaning as well. So that's another reason why I have them throughout the house. So here's the other croton, the Petra, I think, that I have. This one is getting more sunlight than the one downstairs, I think. But it's actually still doing okay. So I hope it's okay. Again, to prevent water loss, I've got the that over as well. I've got some herbs in here because of the south-facing. The herbs do well here. So this is just basil and thyme. I've got more herbs here as well, more thyme. So I do lots of cooking using these herbs. And here's the other Pilea, Peperomia that my friend gave me that I planted recently. The smaller one you saw downstairs, and then this one here as well. So this one is the new one that I bought, not like recently, but I bought a few months back at IKEA. This is I think the Fern Mikado, I think. And it was in such a smaller pot, tinier pot then. But since then, I have so much new growth in here that I had to recently transplant it into this new pot. And it's loving its spot. So I'm just going to wait until it's going to outgrow this pot. And then I will divide and make more of these. Because these are so small and they're so cute. You can put this in in a cabinet somewhere, or in a display case somewhere. They're so small. On a shelf especially, you can put it. Then they make such a nice, beautiful plants. Anyway, so here I have another green spider plant that I planted from the pot. So this one is just a few months old, but it's grown so nicely. Look at this. And again, it's sitting on this dresser with no sun. It's thriving. And again, only because it doesn't have variegation, that's why it can survive in lower light situations. I'm in my son's room. So this one is something that my husband loved, and he bought it for himself on that same trip that we went on my birthday. I think this is, I forget what the name was, but I don't have the tag. I don't think the tag is here, is it? Oh, here it is. It's a juniper Nana. It's a bonsai 4-inch. It's $9.99. Such a good deal. And he bought a little pot there to go with it, and it's loving the spot because the window here is south facing, so it's got lots of sun. And this one I recently bought from the Home Depot on the same day that I bought when the plants were on sale. I think this was another $6.99 as well. I think this is a different Bacchia, but I don't know what the variety is. It doesn't have any tag on it. So again, I have to say that I have very little success with this plant when I've had it in the past. So only because I left it in a much shadier area, whereas here this window is south facing, and because of the white variegation, it does require a lot more sunlight. So I'm hoping that this spot will be good for it and will survive here. But it was $6.99, and the white variegation I truly love against the green. So fingers crossed that it will be okay in this. So I'm in the bathrooms upstairs, and you can see it's on a stand that I recently put it on top. So it used to sit directly on the tile, but this is a new stand that my husband made for me, so I put it on there. And I need a new pot for it. So anyway, it's so hard to shop for pots nowadays because all the stores are closed. But it's not too bad, right? It's that perfect size. But because everything is sort of white in here, it doesn't go well with it. But you know what? The size is perfect. So I'm going to leave it the way it is now. And again, I've got some more of that white Christmas cactus or cacti and Thanksgiving cacti, whatever you're going to call it here. And it's actually doing well, even though it doesn't get any sun. So the window here, I think this window is west facing, but it doesn't get any sun. So the sun comes out here and it gives the snake plant a little bit sun, but the Christmas cacti gets no sun and it's still doing well. So for some reason it's doing well, so I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. And again, this is another one of the same snake plant that I propagated here, and it's been here for, I would say, as long as we've been here, right? Or maybe 4 years now. Again, from cuttings that I've created. So it's beautiful. So here's the other ZZ plant cuttings that I recently created. Again, there's 5 of them in here. But this one is doing okay. There are some like yellowish growth on here as well, but it's not doing too bad, right? And again, it's the same size as the one that I have downstairs. And this is a new buy for me here. This is a philodendron Brazil, I think. And again, I love the variegation. Now, I've never had this before. I've had the green, you know, the solid green philodendron, but I've never had this. So I know the philodendron, the green variety, doesn't require a lot of sun, but this one I noticed that it's got that sort of yellow variegation. And so I'm putting it close to a window, hoping that the lighting is perfect. And it seems to put out a lot of new growth, and the variegation, it's so much more showy with the lighting in this direction. So I'm hoping this is a good spot for it and it'll be okay here, right? And this is, again, so this is the same snake plant that you saw earlier downstairs. Again, so this was a cutting that I made, I guess, like a year ago. And then since then it's put on this new growth. So not too bad, right? For a free plant. So anyway, I've got tons more plants in the basement, which I think is going to make this video way too long. So I think I'm going to stop here. And I want to thank you so much for watching this video. And I hope to share more of my houseplants with you in our next upcoming video. So have yourself a wonderful day wherever you are, or night, wherever you are in the world. And again, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.